Alright, so now we're going to do one of the other objects. Let's go ahead and unhide everything. I'm going to manually hide the lamp and the table, seeing as we've done those already. Let's go ahead and zoom in and let's get some of the simpler ones out of the way. Let's do the plate and the cup. So I'm going to select my plate and my cup. I'm going to isolate those two. Alright, so for my plate, I'm going to go ahead and go create automatic, and as you can see, this is what we get. Basically two cylindrical shapes and then the edges right here. What I like to do is include any edges that I have, only because sometimes you'll have some carryover from the main design of the plate over into the edges, and it's just easier to maintain that way. So what you can do is come here, select that edge, go ahead and go stitch together. Now I'll give you something funky like this. You can go ahead and go unfold, and I'm getting some weird unfolding right now, so this is a good example of what happens sometimes when the algorithm goes awry. Let's see, that's on legacy. Let's try unfold 3D, hit apply, and yeah, that fixed it. Another option, and sometimes that's not 100%. Another option would to be go ahead and go create planar. Make sure it's in the y-axis, but see, what you'll see is that it doesn't get the edges, so you have to do an unfold in order to get the edges as well. Okay, so we're going to move that over to the side. The bottom looks great, so let's go ahead and pack those together. Let's see. Layout UV, or you can also come over here and go layout, and as you can see, this is, I like to move this over, and what we'll probably do in order to save some texture space is combine the silverware with the plate. So let's just leave that there. Let's go over to the cup. Let's go create, and this time I'm gonna go, let's just experiment with some of these. Let's go normal based, and so that pretty much just did the top of the cup. Let's go create, and where's that? Best plane, nope, not that good. Create camera base, which doesn't work for some strange reason. And now let's, what is happening? W, come over here, let's go shift, mapping. No, there's another option. If I can find it. Auto seams. So auto seams will automatically place a seam into your object. Doesn't really do that good of a job of trying to detect certain things. So I hardly use auto seams. You can make some adjustments to it. Let's say cut along hard edges. Let's hit apply. And that's a little better. Go close. And let's see what it does. And as you can see, I'm always forgetting. Here we go. So auto seams, and it only does that hard edge. So if I place hard edges, on the inside here. Which is fine, it'll be able to go in and get all of my hard edges, but I still need to be able to get one of these edges right here. So I'm gonna select this edge and select this inside edge right here. Go ahead and hit cut. Select my UV shells. Unfold. Now this one came out a little wonky, only because of the selection. So now what I want to do is orient shells and straighten UVs. So let's go ahead and lay these out. I need to orient these shells. Orient shells. Move that. And then lay these out. There we go. And you can move these if you want. You want to put those together, you can, or leave it where it is. That's fine, but either way, it's good to go. So that is my cup and my plate, which are done. But I'm going to leave the plate open. I'm going to go ahead and hide the cup, unisolate, and let's go ahead and do this chair really quickly. Create automatic. And so for this chair, what I want to do is cut along, I want to do all the major shapes. So I'm going to cut along this top part to keep those pieces together. Then stitch these edges together, deselecting one. Stitch together there. Stitch together here. So this is the chair right there, the top part. Now let's do the base, which is this section right here. Go ahead and select these UVs. Just like that. And let's go ahead and cut those UVs. Select this UV shell right here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and deselect these edges right here. And select this edge right here. Go ahead and stitch together. So now we have this UV shell. Right? And now we're going to do the same thing we did to the table by selecting the edges. So 3 of the edges, I'm going to go back into X-ray mode, select these 3 edges. Select these 3 edges, these 3 edges, and these 3 edges, along with 1 edge from the bottom. Doesn't matter where, just as long as you select one of them. And go ahead and stitch those together. Just like that. So now we are left with this back edge right here. Which we can either select on the stitch to the bottom part, or we can stitch to the top. So I'm going to choose to stitch it to the bottom. Stitch together. And I have to deselect these parts of the leg, or it'll stitch the legs together too. Go ahead and stitch those together. And now come here, shift, layout, layout UV, or we can just hit the layout button like there, and that should lay out your UVs. Now another thing we can do is if we wanted the table legs to be exactly identical, we can stack these UV shells on top of each other. So we can go ahead and first let's rotate this guy, come up here, rotate that way. Yeah, and then we'll have to switch these edges. So cut this, stitch this right here. Cut and stitch together. Rotate this shell into place. Select all of these guys. Go back down here and hit stack shells. So if we wanted all of them to be exactly alike, we didn't care if there's going to be additional details on there, or if we were going to do like decals to put damage or dirt on side of it, we can stack all of these legs together just like that, and paint them all the same. So that's up to you if you want to do that. I'm going to just lay mine out. Like so, and that is my chair.